Moving ahead, we have a presentation by our citation partner IBM on a very interesting topic. Is AI waiting on your data? Please put your hands together for Mr. Sandip Patel, Managing Director of IBM India and South Asia, leading IBM's growth and innovation in hybrid cloud, AI, and consulting across the region. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our warmest wishes for a very happy and prosperous 2026. It's always great to be here at the IBA conference. This is an esteemed audience, many of whom have trusted IBM as your technology partner for decades. So first of all, I always like to thank you for your trust, for your partnership, for the work that we do for you, and the innovation that we do that actually propels a lot of good business in our nation. You represent a fraternity that has always stood at the forefront of transformation and innovation, and I always consider it a privilege to be a part of this journey with you. I often say that we are living in a defining moment. When we look around us, right, we are witnessing India's digital renaissance, something that I like to call the Naya Daur of Digital Bharat, which will be shaped by a technology trinity of hybrid cloud, AI, and frontier technologies like quantum. At the heart of India's growth story are its banks, the banking industry. By financing entrepreneurship, enabling digital innovation, backing large infrastructure, and more importantly, driving financial inclusion, they power the engines that will accelerate our vision of Viksit Bharat that our Honorable Prime Minister has painted for us. Today, I want to put some questions in front of you. I know that through the conference, through the day, you've been hearing a lot about artificial intelligence, agentic AI, but I want to take that a little step further. Do you know that almost 99% of enterprise data that all of you own in your enterprises, is not being used by generative AI? Most of it, of course, is unstructured data. Do you also know that AI adoption is around 70% in the financial services sector, yet only a subset of the firms are deriving real value from their AI investments? So you see some of the data points here, which are through some of the studies that we've done as well as industry sources. While the actual outcomes may vary from organization to organization, but the question that we ask is why? If you really connect the dots, the picture is very clear. And the answer invariably comes down to data. An enterprise is only as AI ready as its data. And the reality is that most enterprises are struggling. And the numbers are stark. With 90% unstructured data and only 18% organizations having enterprise-wide data standards, data silos, which are a real challenge for AI success, and 90% of all executives attribute access to real-time data as the key to success. AI governance concerns and 93% enterprises call out sovereignty as key to their business strategy. This is through some of the industry reports as well as some of our own research that we've done. What it means is that the power of data is simply not flowing to AI. And if we don't unlock that now, our chances of succeeding in the agentic future, where AI agents reason, decide, and act autonomously, will be very, very limited. I think we're missing the stream here. In fact, large enterprises, particularly within the large enterprises, it adds to this complexity of having too much data, but not always the right data at the right time. So now here is the real game changer. We all talk about agentic AI, but what makes it real is having the right data at the right place so that you can actually make sense of it. You can actually use it to make better decisions, to automate your processes. So the inflection point lies in moving data, that is, data in motion. The moment you can monitor, process, and govern data as it moves, you fundamentally change what's possible for AI. That's where real-time data streaming becomes foundational. Our recent acquisition of Confluent strengthens this foundation even further. The foundation of a smart data platform, one that connects, processes, and governs reusable, reliable data and events in real time, and does so at scale. This is not just infrastructure. It's the foundation for deploying AI responsibly and effectively. IDC predicts that by 2028, we will have a whopping 1 billion new applications. To drive real productivity and meaningful applications and outcomes, these applications and AI agents behind them must have access to connected, trusted data in real time. IBM and Confluent come together to enable exactly that. An end-to-end integration across applications, analytics, data systems, and AI agents, driving intelligence and resilience across hybrid cloud environments. At IBM, we have always believed in a hybrid and open strategy, built on open source technologies to drive innovation and interoperability, and designed to run seamlessly across cloud and on-premise environments. I started by talking about the technology trinity: hybrid cloud, AI, and frontier technologies like quantum computing as the transformational technologies of our time. So let me tell you why quantum is really important. Quantum basically takes off where classical computing, stops and can't solve problems. So one real life example, which has been in the press, you may have seen it. HSBC recently demonstrated measurable value from quantum computing, achieving a 34% improvement in predicting win probability in corporate bond trading using IBM quantum systems. By augmenting classical AI workflows with IBM's most advanced quantum processors, they improved high-frequency trading decisions. And this is just the start. There is a lot of work going on both in the financial services sector, assessing risk models, etc., as well as in areas such as drug discovery and so on. This signals that quantum computing now is moving from experimentation to near-term, real-world impact for financial services. When we speak about unlocking value for the enterprise and scaling AI with data at its core, we cannot ignore another critical point: that our data and AI must be responsible. Last year when we met, I spoke about responsible AI. AI that is explainable, transparent, resilient, and governed. And it's heartening to see that these principles reflected today in the 7 sutras of the Free AI Committee, and people are now starting to accept it, adopt it. But responsibility alone is not enough. Data must also be sovereign. And sovereign not just in terms of data localization, but also in terms of resilience, control, and autonomy. Given today's geopolitical developments and regulatory frameworks like DPDP Act, enterprises are being forced to ask hard questions. Where does my data reside? Who controls it? And under whose jurisdiction does it ultimately fall? Responsible AI governance and compliance are not about slowing innovation. They are about enabling adoption at scale. And governance, therefore, must be automated, consistent, and embedded, especially as regulations continue to evolve. This is why digital sovereignty matters so much right now. And as India's digital infrastructure scales from UPI and Aadhaar to e-commerce and AI-driven services, enterprises are generating vast volumes of highly strategic data. At the same time, regulatory enforcement is becoming real, geopolitical dynamics are shifting, and AI is increasing both data sensitivity and cloud costs. Enterprises today need both control and choice. Control over where data resides, who can access it, and how it is governed. Choice in how technology is deployed, be it on-prem, at the edge, or on the cloud, with freedom to move or exit without disruption. This is exactly why IBM and Patel have partnered not just to bring data resilience to you with in-country data residency, but also a hybrid by design architecture and open platforms through Red Hat, enterprise-grade security with keep your own key, compliance in line with India's regulations, bringing trusted AI closer to where your data lives. Enterprises can now build anywhere, run anywhere, and govern centrally. Simply put, enterprises, even in regulated industries, can move faster, stay compliant, and innovate with confidence. And this is not just theory. The journey has already begun in IBM itself. So far, we have recorded $4.5 billion in operational savings by deploying AI agents and automating across our own operations. We call this the client zero story. Ultimately, all of this depends on people. And one of the things I would encourage all of you to do is make sure that skilling in the AI space is done not only at the employee level, but across all of the management chains. Three things must happen in parallel. First, move from a siloed approach to an AI to workflow-centric deployment, accelerating integration. Second, make people central to your Gen AI strategy through skills, culture, and change management. And third, build a hybrid by design architecture to meet diverse business needs. Thank you, and I look forward to continuing the dialogue and this journey with you. Thank you again.